Hi everyone, my name is Alison and I am representing Inspire. I am currently working in the Impact and Communications team. Now, welcome to today's overview of the REIP program. REIP is the Renewable Energy Independent Power Producer Procurement Program. Now, you might be wondering, what is renewable energy? Renewable energy is made from resources that nature will replace, like wind, water, and sunshine. Renewable energy is also called clean energy or green power because it has fewer harmful impacts for the air and water. South Africa as a country needs more electricity, including electricity infrastructure, example, power plants and transmission grid, as population and electricity needs grow. Now you might be wondering, why don't we use renewable energy all the time? Renewable energy is still a new technology and is just starting to really expand in South Africa. But over time, we will use more renewable energy with complementary storage and other flexible technologies as the industry is growing and the shift from dirty energy to clean energy is growing. Where does renewable energy come from? Renewable energy sources are all around us. It is in the wind that blows, the sun shining, the flowing water, and even the growing grass. We interact with sources of renewable energy every day. Now we'll be speaking about IPP, which stands for the Independent Power Producer. IPP is an organization that owns a power producing facility and can sell electricity to utility and electricity users. It is usually a private company and is generally not a public utility company. Transactions for electricity between an IPP and its customers are usually regulated with a contract called a Power Purchase Agreement, PPA. In South Africa, IPPs sell their electricity to Eskom, municipalities, or other large off-takers, example, mines and factories. Now we'll be speaking about the REIP program. The Procurement Office was established by the Department of Energy, National Treasury, and the Development Bank of Southern Africa, with a primary mandate of securing electricity from renewable and non-renewable sources from the private sector. However, energy policy and supply are not only about technology, but also have a substantial influence on economic growth and socio-economic development. As such, REIP has been designed to go beyond the procurement of energy to also contribute to the broader national development of objectives such as job creation, social upliftment, and the broadening of economic ownership. Key facts about REIP. As of 2025, a total of 128 projects have been awarded to the private sector. 134,651 gigawatts of energy has been generated by renewable energy sources since the project's inception in 2013. Where can REIP projects be found in South Africa? They can be found in the Eastern Cape, Free State, Gauteng, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, Northwest, Northern Cape, and Western Cape. These energy sources vary from onshore wind, solar, biomass, small hydro, and landfill gas. How does REIP benefit communities? It helps solve the energy crisis in South Africa by feeding electricity on the national grid. It also promotes economic activities in the country, and it contributes to local economic development opportunities through IPP projects. REIP is an opportunity to empower people. Empowerment is a process by which people take greater control over the decisions, assets, and policy, institutions, and processes that affect their livelihoods. This may be achieved by increasing income and assets of the poor, interventions that enhance confidence and self-respect, developing collective decision-making, or by reforming political institutions to make them more inclusive. Now we'll be touching on the local community benefits of REIP. The term local community is understood in REIP as the settlements either in a 50-kilometer radius around a project site or within a district municipality boundary, and this differs between IPP projects. IPP gives preference to employing South African Black citizens, including women and youth from local communities. REIP has thus far created 99,519 job years in South African communities to date. The socio-economic development investment in REIP has been 3.5 billion thus far and can be said to have benefited the education sector, the healthcare sector, social welfare, general administration, as well as enterprise development. To date, there has been an economic development investment of 1.1 billion in business incubators. The local shareholding has seen an average of 11% of each IPP being owned by entity representing communities. The dividends are invested into community development projects. How do you as a community have your say? A renewable energy project may require various approvals and permits, which trigger public participation processes for communities to be consulted and engaged. One of those is an environmental impact assessment. If a renewable energy program triggers listed activities under the National Environment Management Act, an EIA is required. Once you become aware of a proposed project, ask the environmental assessment practitioner to register you as an interested and affected party so you receive updates. Registered parties may submit written comments on EIA projects. The EIA must record these inputs. Notices should be in your local languages and comments may be submitted in your own language. You should attend public meetings and submit written comments within the time frame. If the EIA is approved, you may be entitled to appeal the decision of the Minister of Environment, Forestry and Fisheries within 20 days of notification. Communities who are affected or might be affected by energy projects are entitled to information on what is proposed and how the project might affect them and their rights. Section 32 of the Constitution grants everyone the right to access information held by the state and by another person, if that information is needed to exercise or protect other rights. You can request access to records by filing a request through the Promotion of Access to Information Act. It is always advisable to engage with the project developer at an early stage to establish a practice of transparency and communication. Before signing anything, stay alert. Make informed decisions from the beginning. Here are 10 red flags you should watch out for. Promises that are made only verbally, nothing in writing. Pressure to sign quickly without time to think. No independent legal advice. Conflict of interest, in other words, the same person for multiple roles. No community meeting minutes. Technical language without translation. Community not allowed to ask questions. No documentation of past engagements. A one-size-fits-all approach. No clear timeline or next steps. That brings us to the end of today's video. I hope that you have learned something. For more information, please visit our website to access more of these resources. Thank you.